Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's having a lovely weekend. And yeah, with that being said, let's get into the TA. Please like the video. I would appreciate it. The algo would appreciate it. Let's get into it. All right, so we're going to make this one short, simple, and to the point. We already covered some things on Friday, but now we're going to go over the weekly charts on top of that. All right, so the first thing I do want to point out is that QQQ's RSI up here is in a spot, and this is on the weekly time frame. It is in a spot where the last two times we did have this condition, you did see a decent sell, and those were both in the bull market with QE behind them. Listen, guys, I don't think that's what we got going on right now, but regardless, that did happen back there the previous two times. So, you know, this time really can be different. I'm going to show you Mr. VIX in this. And Mr. VIX is going to show us that, yeah, we're in absolute crazy times, and we're seeing something that we haven't seen in 10 freaking years. It's actually been 11 years. So, yeah, there's that, guys. So this time over here, you did end up selling off. I think this was 4 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4. You had 5 weeks, and you had an 8% sell there. You had 4 weeks over here, and you had an 11% sell. So that is something to know. And actually, while I'm here, I'm going to show you guys, hey, all right, the MA here, all right? I've been using the 8 EMA as my short-term moving average for quite some time. Recently on Twitter, I've been seeing a decent amount of people use the 5 EMA, and I just want to point out that this thing is definitely going to be more beneficial than the 8 EMA. You can see this thing literally just rides this thing up. You can see on the daily time frame, I'm actually going to point this out right here. So obviously we've been an uptrend, like a bullish trend for months now, since all the way back over here. Let me just show you the difference between the 8 EMA and the 5 EMA. I'm just showing you guys because I think, hey, if you're using 8, you know, on the daily time from here, then the 5 might do you some justice here. I want to point out over here, all right? You see how, hey, we're not touching it. Like, let's just say right here, all right? Let's just mark this out. All right, let's see if the 5 EMA had a tap over there, and you would have known, like, hey, that was your buying opportunity. Oh, look at that. You pulled back to the 5 EMA, and that is where you went off to the races. So it's just an added level of support or resistance if you're going like in a downtrend. But at the current point in time, we are in an uptrend. I'm going to point out what you need to see to switch that in this video, like I have been. And I just want to remind everyone, all right, if you are short, you are going against the trend. I personally am, I made the decision yesterday that I am going to be, I'm going to be cutting my losses on my dated puts on this next swing down. I am looking for the swing down. I mean, if we don't see it, then I don't know. Maybe I will just ride it out if we just, you know, irrationally just rock it up here to 450 over here on SPY and QQQ. I don't know. I really don't think you're going to go much further. But yeah, regardless, I am going to cut on the swing down this week, and I am going to wait for confirmation. And I'm going to point out why it's actually not so bad. And even over here, let me actually point this out right here. So this is on the daily time frame. I want to point out that I remember we were over here, and I hesitated, all right? And I just want to show you guys, where did this thing close? This thing closed at 349, all right? All you needed to wait for, like, you could have exited on this day. I could have exited on this day. Any of us, anybody who has been holding short positions throughout this, you know, right here. All right, this thing's a monster. All right, but I just want to show, like, this was strictly fear of missing out, because if you really take a step back and look at this thing, all right, you ended out the day at 348.50. Guess what? All you needed to wait for was a close under 346.50. Guys, that's $2 you would have been missing out on. After I saw that, I was kind of just feeling really freaking dumb about that one. But yeah, all right, that is what I'm gonna do. And I mean, I already do my analysis without a bias, so I hope you guys are enjoying that. I've been calling, you know, bullish action against my position. So I do hope you guys have been enjoying that. But now, like 100%, I'm going back to having my capital to, yeah, to be able to play this market, all right? Because there have been countless opportunities in this market that I have, you know, even called out. And guess what, all right? I've just not had too much capital on the side to actually play those. So maybe you guys are in a similar position. Here we go. Let's continue on with the video. I just want to comment on that because in reality, guys, if you are doing what I did, I do want to say, hey, you're very close, very likely close to a top right here. You have the 0.786 fib right here on 375 up there, and then over here on SPY, you were also right underneath that thing. Is at 450. Not right underneath it. That is why, like, I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking for here, but let's continue on with the weekly chart. So SPY's weekly RSI is not too overbought, but QQQ is over here. It's past 2 times you saw it. I think we're probably going to get something similar. I don't know how far we end up going down. I'm not calling for a 10% sell. I'm not. I'm going to show you guys what I'm watching for today. All right. But moving over to Mr. VIX's weekly time frame. All right. We're going to come over here. We're going to put a line right here. All right. Right where we are. And I want to point out, we have not been down here since, you could see, like, we started approaching over here in 2012. All right. But we haven't been down here since 09. And this is just something you have not seen in quite some time. Now, we didn't see any crash, though. That's the difference here. We didn't see the crash. And, like, VIX got crushed over here because you see this massive spike. And then you just, guessing if we look back on SPX's daily time frame, all right, you probably just rallied. You steadily moved up. You had some pullbacks, but you probably steadily moved up throughout this time period. But it was following this massive spike, all right? We did have the COVID 2020 crash, but the Fed came in and they stepped in and they introduced the markets to, not even the markets, just the economy and as a whole, to the most QE that they have ever introduced. So, again, like, we are in crazy ass times. There's no denying that. All right. These conditions don't have to hold up, just like what I pointed out on QQ. They don't have to. All right. There could be something going on behind the scene that I have no idea about. There really could. But, I just thought something that I would show you, that this is proof that we have never seen this market. So if you are learning how to trade and you are doing your best to become a consistently profitable trader, and let's just say you do make it out the other side by the end of this bear market, all right? Let's just say thing goes on for another year. Guys, be damn proud, all right? And be damn happy to be learning in this bear market, because in reality, and I call it a bear market because of what I just said, all right? Like, yes, we're in crazy times, but we haven't seen that crash, and I don't think we are going to. We're not out the woods until you see a watershed moment, whatever you want to call it. We have not seen that, and VIX is doing something that it only did after that, and again, we just never saw it. And look, it's the same thing over here. You came down after your .com crash, after you had this massive spike. Now we came down to this level. Well, guess what, guys? All right, we don't have that yet, so. I don't know. I just wanted to point that out. All right. But coming back over here to QQQ. All right. I am going to point out buyers in QQ and SPY. Buyers are stepping up right into resistance. So that is something to point out. Yeah, I don't think that's the best idea, but it does definitely support what we see on the AAII sentiment survey, as well as the fear and greed index. People are getting greedy. All right. Also, I'm not going to show you right now because I've flashed the fear and greed index quite a number of times over the last week or two. But it has just been staying up there. And then you also have the put to call ratio just at a low that we haven't seen in 12 months. So you 100% do have confirmation that, yeah, people are on one side. Now, I am going to remind everyone, we did just have the monthly Opex. The monthly Opex just means that, hey guys, a lot of the derivatives market, which in reality that is what controls this market. We have 0DT and stuff like that, so that got introduced back here at the October low. Over here, that is literally where 0DT came in, and maybe that did end up saving the day. I got no idea, but I will tell you, and maybe that's also why the VIX is broken. All right, I have no idea. Maybe that is why we're seeing this crazy condition right here that we haven't seen since back then. But yeah, guys, all right. I definitely did just lose my train of thought. I thought about the VIX, but regardless, guys, all right, I'm looking for a pullback from here, and I don't think we're going much further without having that pullback. Damn, I really did just lose my train of thought. I was on to something. Oh well. Oh well. Come back over to QQQ. All right. Oh, buyers are stepping up. You got the put to call ratio all the way down there. It's everything supporting each other. You got the VIX down there. Guys, fear isn't in the market. I think that's what I was getting at. It could not be what I was getting at. I got no idea. You guys probably heard where I was going, and now I just don't remember. So, hashtag ADHD, stuff happens. All right. Stepping over to the daily time from now, I'm going to point out where I, what the scenarios that I see playing out this week. All right. Let's just take that off right there. All right, let's take that off. I will remind you guys, hey, what I showed you guys, I think it was in Wednesday's video, the RSI, the daily RSI here on QQ and SPY, they are in the same spots that they were up here. All right, the same spots where you did end up getting this price action right here, and then you had, I think this was an 8% rip, 5% rip, and then you had an 8% sell right here. Yeah, okay, 7% sell, whatever. So regardless, guys, we got the daily and the weekly RSIs suggesting that we likely do have a sell in store. All right, I don't know how far that sell goes down, but let me show you what I'm going to be watching over here on QQ. All right, so you do have increasing sell volume on the day on, QQ and SPY. Let's actually check SPX, the big boy over here. Oh, you have big one. But then again, it was quad witching day. You had the monthly Opex, and now the next date to really look forward to is not look forward to, but it's going to be the June 30 quarterly expiration. I think that is the quarterly expiration. So that could be a big one too. You're probably going to see a lot of the open interest that just, is evaporating now. It's probably going to get moved over to the June 30 expiration. So that is something we could take a look at in a different video, but I'm going to try and get us out the door here pretty quick. All right. But yeah. All right. So we do have increase the sell volume right here. It could be explained by that monthly Opex, but regardless, all right, sellers do likely get their way over the next trading session. Now, what I will point out is that SPY closed red alongside Mr. VIX, which, that does give us an 85% probability that we do have a green day on SPY/SPX over the following two trading sessions, which would be Tuesday or Wednesday, because we do have Juneteenth. I don't know why we get off on Juneteenth, but we have Juneteenth on Monday. Listen, guys, over trading, all right? I want to just say, like, hey, having an extra day off of the market, that sucks. But in reality, guys, like, over trading really is every trader's worst nightmare. And there's that. I'm just saying, if you do end up having gains along the way, guys, lock in them gains. You don't need to go for home runs, and that's what I am excited to go back to. I'm very excited for that. Regardless, guys, let's go over that. So I am looking for a pullback. We did just slam into resistance over here in SPY 443.50, and it's not any major structure here. It's just this is what I identified that, like, hey, we could see some resistance here because we do have a battle going on. You see all these wicks going on here. You see that wick going on there. All right, and you slammed up to it, back tested, boom, slammed down through it. The next spot after that is going to be this 450. So that is going to be important for the scenarios that we are going to point out here. All right, one of them does align with that. And there really are only a few scenarios. Well, two of them actually would align with that. Only a few scenarios that can end up playing out here. All right, so let's go over those right here. All right, so first things first, I do expect you are going to be coming down to retest the August high. Do I know if that's going to happen before you skyrocket up to 450 and come slam into the 0.786 fib? I got absolutely no idea on that one. No idea. So let's go over some scenarios right here. Let's take this off. All right, I had this up for my Weeble update. Let's also, do I have one on QQ? No, I don't. All right. All right, so let's go over these scenarios. So scenario number one, you come down and you come test the August high, and you have a daily close underneath it. That is your bear scenario where you likely, like that literally tells you that's your sign of weakness, all right? So you would be coming out, having your daily close underneath this zone right here, all right? And that would be right here, all right? If you do that, this is where sellers stepped in over there, and then boom, you consolidate a little, and buyers, took the throne there. But yeah, if you do have the daily close, that signifies weakness. So you probably do come up for a lower high either on 435 or 438, or you just keep tanking. I don't know, guys. We have a bunch of gaps that I don't have on the chart right now, but you have, let's just look at that. You have one right here. You have one right here. So that's two. You have three. That one got filled and caused that bounce right there. All right. You got four right there. I just swore we had a fifth one, but I guess not. All right. So four downward gaps, and you don't have any upside gaps right now. Yeah, you have no gaps to the upside. Except maybe this little one right here. I'm not sure, but I am seeing that. Regardless, guys, sign of weakness, you come back, it would be a lower high, and then you come down. This would be your confirmation of the trend change. All right, so that is one scenario right there. Scenario number two, you come down, test the August high, buyers support the August high, and you come up and you get your lower high on either here or here, and then you come down and break it. Right here, again, this is what signifies that trend change, right? You put in the higher low here from over here. Yes, you put in the higher low, but then you put in the lower high, and then you also put in the lower low. So that would be your trend change right there. All right, now what's the other scenario? Scenario number three, you come here, You bounce off the August high, and boom, bop, bing, boop, pow, you come up for a double top right here, all right, at 443.50, and then you come down, and maybe we end up being ranged around here for a little bit, or maybe you end up signifying the trend change, and you break this higher low right there, and put in a equivalent high, and then a lower low, and that would be that. All right, so that was, what was that? 4 scenarios, did we just say? 3? I don't know if that was 3 or 4, but we'll just say that was 3. All right, 4th scenario right here. You bounce off here, and this is honestly something I think, if we're going to get something like what we got at the high over here, all right, where I pointed this out, right here, all right, this is where your daily RSI, you can see that down there, is at the same level that we just turned off of here, which I will point out, this, you know, it started turning there a lot. All right, but yeah, that would be a scenario like that where we come down, make a low, and then boom, we put in a divergent high on the RSI over there, which is something, guys, that's, I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated as we go on here. All right, but that would be how that would play out. But yeah, you come up here and you would slam into the 450 resistance. And I really don't think you would come much higher because you do have the 0.786 fib, guys. All right. In no bear market, in the .com and the '08 bear market, guys, you did not come up and have this condition. So yes, we are in crazy times. And I do think like, hey, all right, you don't have conditions for a bull market. And if they want to turn back on the money printer anymore, they have to get this whole inflation problem under control, which means we're probably going to have a sideways market or a downward market and not a breakout to new all-time highs market. And let's continue the bull market. I just don't think that would be the case. Let's come over here. I lost there. All right. But yeah, I would look for sellers to come back over here and then we're going to reassess. All right. We're going to have to see what happens. Maybe come down here, maybe come down here and maybe you start, you know, having a downtrend from there. Regardless, you haven't had any significant pullback on QQQ in a while. But now we can definitely say you haven't had any significant pullback in $34. And if we do come on up here, guys, that is going to be looking, you'd slap on another $8. That's going to be $42. So yeah, we are going to be looking for the pullback if that becomes the case. QQQ. All right, so those are scenarios to watch over on SPY for the following 2 weeks. All right, could all go down in 1 week. I got no idea. All right, you see where the VIX is though. When the VIX is down, that just means, hey, there's not fear in the market, but it also is telling you there's low volatility in the market. So don't expect these massive moves. Yes, we did have 372 all the way down to 367. So yeah, that's like, you know, what is that, 1.5% over here? Yeah, something like that. 1.6% move intraday. So that's, you know, that's a decent move for VIX being down here. But, you know, don't expect anything crazy. All right. We have to see the VIX start spiking, which is going to, like, guys, VIX 20 to 30. All right. You can look for, like, you know, 2% moves. There's like probably a calculation that we can actually use for that. And maybe I'll look that up if I remember. But yeah. All right. Lower VIX, less volatility. Higher VIX, when it's up, like you say it's at 35, guys. Well, now you're looking for crazy moves intraday. You're looking for those 3 to 4%. I don't know. Probably not 4%, but maybe. I don't know. All right. Moving on, though. All right. Right here. Scenarios for QQ. You did have the increased sell volume. So we probably do end up having a lower low. But keep in mind, we do have the VIX's buy signal on SPY. So if SPY buys up, you know, QQ probably is too. But this is what I'm going to be watching for. I do think you're probably going to break through 360 right here. All right, so where you had this consolidation right there, you didn't really have a low there. But what I do want to point out is you have this high. All right, this previous high right here. If you do end up coming down and breaking that, that is your sign of weakness, and you probably end up coming up for a lower high, and it probably would be right here. All right, it could be all the way up here, but again, I am looking for the lower high if we do that, because I'm going to point out here, guys, you have not put in up top, busted through it, and came back to it since we started this uptrend. Just hasn't been something that happened. Right here, you did it. Boom, you flipped it. All right, so you had this top. Boom, you flipped it, and you went off the race. Boom, you had this top. Boom, consolidated. You back tested for a day. You go down to the 4-hour time frame, and you can see that clearly. All right, and then you went off. But right here is, same thing right here. All right, you had this top right here. Boom, you had this consolidation. Like, there's that, but you clearly do see, like, hey, this is where the battle was going on. And yeah, if we do, that's going to be my sign of weakness. And then I will be looking for the lower high after that. And then boom, after you come down and break that, the lower low there, or actually just a low, I guess, because this is the next low over there. That is what you would be waiting on. All right, that would signify that trend change. All right, so that's scenario number 1 for QQQ. All right, number 2. come down here and you do end up coming up here, and you probably hit it with a double topper, right? You do have resistance right here at the March 2022 high and the April 2020 or the Feb 2022 high. But I really like you know, you're probably going to have a lot of people taking profits. On top of that, you have the 0.786 fib here. All right, guys, if this is not just going to be a retracement, which I very much so think it probably is, and we either trade flat or, I mean, you know, we could pull back, like, you know, say we come all the way down here and then maybe, you know, we go off the races. But, you know, we haven't had any significant pullback. So I doubt that is going to be the case. But then again, all right, crazy market. Who cares? All right. But yeah, regardless, I'm looking for a retest right here. So scenario number 2 would be come up here and you hold this, and then you come up here for a high, and then you know, uptrend is still in play, guys. There's no weakness here. It's just you back tested support and you're going. We're going to have to reassess along the way. That's why we do these daily updates. Well, now this is the weekly update, but we do the daily ones. And guys, if you are a fan of that, if you like how that sounds, all right, you know, follow along, join our small little almost 3K community here. All right. I'm happy to have you guys. And, you know, we will keep improving as we go, guys. That I guarantee. But yeah, all right, that would be another scenario. And then you could come down here, you could hold it, you could double top, and then you come down here. That would be your trend change right there, right? If we really just do a straight shot down, all right, and you break this, well, guys, that was your last higher low. So if you do end up doing that, yeah, then we are going to be looking for a lower high regardless to be put in. It'd probably be right here, or it would be right here. I don't know, but that is what we would be looking for. Regardless, I am looking for this 358-ish. Yeah, 358 to be tested this week. So that is pretty much it, guys. I hope that wraps things up there. We do have Bitcoin over here. I do want to point out. Could actually do this. Let's come over here. YouTube. All right. I've been using different ones. I didn't want to do that. Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin. There we go. All right. So on the daily time frame, guys, I did point out over here. When we were over here, I said, hey, I don't think you're going to have a big sell until, you know, unless you have a big news catalyst to cause a big old dump like this. I just really didn't think it was going to happen. I thought we're probably going to come down, back test this, you know, trend line here, and then we're probably going to go off the, not back test, just test the trend line, and then we're probably going to go off the races and find support, resistance here. I don't know. All right. But now we did break down from the falling wedge. All right. So we could put that back on the chart here. I think it was, no, it's not that, but this is like another, so technically we never broke. Like, I mean, we did, all right. We did break through what I had as the falling wedge. I think it was right here I had it. I think I was going off of this, but yeah, I mean, you can easily draw another one. But regardless, you do have this target that we did put on the board. It doesn't have to be hit, but, you know, we did see that we did identify that trend line was being respected. It broke. All right, and we do have this upsloping trend line here, which if we do get down here, guys, I have to assume, yeah, your RSI is probably not going to be, you know, up here. It probably would be down here, and you're probably going to get that bounce. And then, you know, this arrow kind of sums up what I'm looking for. You could come up here on come tomorrow, could reject off here, and then you fall with the market to start off the week. All right, and then when the market's getting retracement or a push higher, you could end up seeing that move. That's just what I'm personally looking for. And then, yeah, if you do end up breaking out from this downtrend right here, then we have to assume you're going to be going higher. And, you know, it could be here, it could be right here, it could be right here. I have no idea, but that's why I have the arrow right there. I'm going to keep it like that. All right, guys, with that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. Everybody have a lovely rest of your weekend, and peace.